Nigeria is a country with tremendous economic opportunities. Nigeria is a country with tremendous economic growth and investment potentials. But why are we still very backward on the radar of investment? Why are we still very backward on the radar of economic growth? The reasons aren't far-fetched. Nigeria's economic deficits have continued to rob us all of our immense potentials. It is quite clear that when we review the facts and figures in critical sectors such as energy and infrastructure, we know that we are more or less directly or indirectly lagging behind. Nigeria is a key player in West Africa. Nigeria is key in the economy of Africa. And the reason why I've said that is because we amount to a significant figure with over 190.9 million people. We account for 47% of West Africa's population, and we also amount for the largest population of youths in the world. With the abundance of natural and economic resources, abundance of human resources, abundance of natural gas, abundance of oil and gas, why are we still lagging behind? I've asked that question initially and I'm asking again. Having spoken about the population of Nigeria being 190.9, the most populous black nation in the world, and the most populous nation in Africa, a win for Nigeria is a win for Africa. And if a loss for Nigeria, more or less, is significantly a loss for Africa. President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, when he assumed office, did say that his administration would be hinged on 3 key objectives, and that's security, economy, and corruption. The second speaker had said we have so much to do in terms of fighting corruption in Nigeria, which is the bane of our existence. More or less, the majority of issues Nigeria is saddled with is stemmed from the fact that we are able to fight corruption. We have made appreciable progress, some pundits would say. We have made appreciable progress, some politicians would say. But like he did say, there's still so much to be done, because there's nothing more sacred than a human life. In my own words and in my own opinion, I would say we need to retool our security personnel. We need to give them priority. We need to pay attention to their welfare. Only then will the morale and capacity be strengthened to fight. I very quickly also want to emphasize the need for us to have border regulations. Our borders are very porous. Migration is indeed a huge economic challenge for Nigeria. Virtually everyone wants to migrate from Nigeria to the West, speaking about low-income earners, speaking about average income earners, or maybe people at the top. The fact is, we all want to identify with the West in one way or the other. With all of the economic endowments of Nigeria, why are we not having tourists flocking from Europe, from other parts of the world, even across Africa to Nigeria, with all of our tourist reserves and tourist sites? The second speaker had already highlighted that we are lagging behind in terms of security. Of course, you don't want to take a vacation to a country where you don't feel secure. I once walked into a mall in Ivory Coast and I looked at virtually all the cooking utensils in the mall. I looked at virtually all the products that were found in that mall, and I realized that matchboxes in the mall were more or less imported from Switzerland. Chocolates were also imported. Virtually all the chocolates on the stands of that mall were imported from Switzerland. I also realized that as little as toothpick was imported from Holland. Virtually all the strands of toothpick in the mall was imported from Holland. Now, Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire is in West Africa. Why are we saddled with all of this? Why are we saddled with all of this economic deficit? We talk about foreign direct investments into West Africa. We talk about foreign direct investments into Nigeria. We talk about being globally competitive. There's no way we can compete with other nations across the world if we do not grow our own products locally. And how could we possibly grow our products locally? It's by making our trade laws and regulations lean. Of course, we all know it's very difficult to do business in Nigeria. I stand to be corrected. SMEs, entrepreneurs, so to speak, have said it over and again that it's a little bit more convenient, if not more or less convenient, or cheaper to import goods and services from China, from some places in Europe, than it is to import goods and services from Nigeria to other western parts of Africa. Why is that so? I think we need to try as much as we can to reduce bottlenecks and bureaucracies in our government and in our trade laws and regulations. Speaking about security, very quickly I'd like to say that countries across Africa have used the claims of threat to national security to continue to divert scarce resources to military spending. Now, if peace is restored, government can face the basics, which includes human rights, restoration of amenities, creation of jobs, reduction in poverty, and of course, curbing the spate of migration. I once listened to Femi Falana speak, and he said, think about what you can do for your country and not what your country can do for you. But I would say that it's very difficult to think about what you can do for your country when you're hungry. It's very difficult to think about what you can do for your country when you can access basic amenities like energy, light. You can access basic amenities like water, infrastructure and the roads are bad. It's usually very, very difficult. When you look at the West and so many of the countries who are able to think about what they can do for their countries, they don't have issues with all of these basic amenities. We travel across some countries in Western Africa and the light is not interrupted for 24 hours. A typical example is Ghana. Ghana more or less was indirectly dependent on Nigeria for several decades, for several years. But today, Ghana has become very globally competitive. Very recently, Nigeria signed the AFCTA, that's the African Free Trade Continental Area. 55 countries precisely have signed. What does this portend for Nigeria? What does this portend for West Africa? I am very particular about the West African sub-region. It portends the fact that businesses will grow. It portends the fact that investments would be attracted into Nigeria, more or less attraction of investments into Nigeria, into Western Africa. But then again, how can we possibly take advantage of all of these opportunities when Nigeria is lagging behind in energy? Lagos is a typical example. I would say in my opinion, in the past few weeks or in the past few months, we've been doing well as far as power. But we still have a very, very long way to go. When you look at countries like North Africa, you look at regions like Northern Africa, the likes of Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, to name a few of them, they've been able to attain, I think, 95% or 96% of stability in power supply. We look at some of the countries in the West and we want to be like them, but how could you possibly want to imitate countries in the West when you don't even have power, you don't have access to power? The president of AFDB had said Africa is tired of being a continent in the dark. I would say Nigeria is tired of being a country in the dark. We need to work on our energy, we need to work on, as much as we can, we need to work on our power supply. Very quickly, still speaking about economic degradation, I'd like to highlight that when we move across certain other countries in Eastern Europe or out of Nigeria, I observe and realize that with the Schengen visa, you can travel to as many countries in the Schengen area or in Eastern Europe. When you come to Africa, in Western Africa precisely, why am I not able to move from Nigeria to Ghana freely? Why am I not able to move from Nigeria to Cote d'Ivoire freely? Why am I not able to access Nigeria to Liberia freely? A friend of mine once said that she was exporting goods and services from Nigeria to Liberia, and it was actually very cumbersome, the kinds of issues that she was saddled with, moving this goods from Nigeria to Liberia with ECOWAS. Why do we have all of these bottlenecks? How can we possibly advance ourselves if we don't deal with all of these trade rules and regulations? That is still speaking about economic degradation. That said, I'd like to say very quickly about security that in 2017, the Global Peace Index, that's the Institute for Economics and Peace, reported deterioration of peace in North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, with the largest deteriorations in Ethiopia, Burundi, Libya, Mali, and Lesotho. Let's trickle it down to Western Africa. 6 of the 10 least peaceful countries in the world are from Africa. 6 of the 10 least peaceful countries in the world are from Africa. Speaking about Syria, speaking about South Sudan, Somalia, Central African Republic, and Libya. In the 2019 index, of course Nigeria is not on the list, but of course we know that Nigeria is not alien to conflicts. Nigeria is not alien when it comes to unrest. Speaking about Boko Haram, Fulani, farmers' headers clash, to name a few of that, banditry and so on and so forth. Nigeria continues to suffer internal conflicts in the form of ethnic tension, electoral crisis, and terrorism. Although it is impossible to quantify the human tragedy that results from the violence in Nigeria, the widespread insecurity in Nigeria has resulted to the loss of thousands of lives, like the second speaker highlighted. Hence, there's a need for us to create a new paradigm in sustaining this peace and security. I'll round off with security by saying that peace, in this case, will not merely be the absence of violence, but the ability of a society to respond to the needs of its citizens, reduce the numbers of conflicts, and resolve existing disputes. With all of this said, what lies or where lies the road to sustainable peace and security for Nigeria? One very simple way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll assure you, is to actualizing our dream of a peaceful society, a peaceful country, and a peaceful region is through the warm embrace of education. The first speaker did highlight education. He said education is key. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to state very quickly that with good education, you help purge our population of extreme doctrines and poverty. You help purge our population of extreme intolerance. Of course, we see what is happening in the north. A lot of people talk about racism in the West, and I do tell people, Nigeria is also very racist to itself. The West is racist because we have skin color difference, but Nigeria is of the same skin color, we're all black, but we're racist to ourselves. I once had a conversation with someone, and I was speaking to the person about a friend of mine who's Fulani, and the lady said to me, why would you be dealing with somebody who is Fulani? You're from the south, you live in Lagos, you're not supposed to be interacting with someone. And I said, I am not just interacting with this person. If I had an opportunity to see someone who's outside, I would, as far as it measures up with my expectations. And so, Nigeria is race diverse. We're not skin color diverse, but we are very prejudiced to one another. We are very racist to one another. And then we sit back and complain about the West, that they treat us like trash, or they treat us like we're insignificant. We don't even respect ourselves. Still speaking about the resources, I would say that resources should be distributed equitably. Nigeria needs to stop sidelining minority groups rather. Nigeria needs to stop sidelining minority groups. We look at the appointments of Mr. President over the years, and a lot of minority groups feel sidelined. It's that time to incorporate all groups together, all forms and all levels of ethnicity, whether you're of the minority group like I am, or you're of the majority group like anyone else. Women should also be inclusive in governance. Lastly, on economics, I would say that economic revival in the form of job creation should be established to cater for the unemployed population in Nigeria. Let us also increase our ease of doing business. I would say specifically that we need to create an enabling environment for SMEs and local enterprises to thrive. That way, youth will be engaged and not used as willing tools in the hands of extremist groups during elections and so on. The first speaker did highlight infirmity. He did say that an angry man is, a few degrees to getting mad, so to speak, and I would also corroborate that point. I would say that when you're sick or you're infirmed and your mind is feeble, you can have no peace. You can barely think for yourself. And so Nigeria needs to strengthen its healthcare system. Very quickly, I would like to state in summary that according to the United Nations, good governance is measured by 8 factors of participation. The rule of law, which must be upheld. Transparency must be upheld. Responsiveness must be upheld. Consensus orientation must be upheld. Equity and inclusiveness. Everyone has to be inclusive. That has to be upheld. Effectiveness and accountability also has to be upheld. Ladies and gentlemen, in summary, I'd like to say that the construct of peace is such that every strand and every facet of human life attains responsible, dependent governance, which requires responsible leadership, participating citizenship, and fair political representation. I know at this juncture a lot of us are a bit distracted, but I do hope that I've been able to send a message, and I do hope that one or two persons have been able to pick out one or two things from my presentation. Thank you very much to the organizers of this award. Thank you very much, Prestige Online. Thank you, Prestige International, for this platform. I am more than humble. My name is Wofai Samuel. Thank you.
I have the honor and privilege to present the Prestige Excellence Award for the Outstanding International Media Personality of the Year to our inimitable and delectable journalist, Wofai Samuel. Congratulations, Wofai. Although they misspell your name, but it's yours. Congrats.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babajide. It's indeed an honor to have you presenting my award. Thank you very much to the Prestige platform for acknowledging my work, for acknowledging the efforts we put into changing the narratives of Africa on the global scenes and on the regional scenes. I'm more than humble for this recognition. Thank you once again.
Ladies and gentlemen,